Hello and welcome to Prep Eve. Today I'll be discussing the performance standards on which the speaking raters evaluate your CELPIP speaking test. There are 4 such factors that you need to remember so that you can showcase all of those in your speaking test. So let's begin. If you've watched the video that I've tagged here, you will know that there are 3 speaking raters, at least 3 speaking raters that will be evaluating your speaking test. And this is done to authenticate the validity and reliability of the test. Now, what do they evaluate you on? The 4 factors are content coherence, vocabulary, listenability, and task fulfillment. And if you have watched the video on writing performance standards that I just uploaded, you would know that all of these factors are exactly as in case of the writing module except for the listenability one. So you have content coherence, vocabulary, and task fulfillment as is in the writing test. Those are the same factors on which you will be evaluated. The only one that's different is listenability. In speaking, we have listenability. In case of writing, we have readability. What exactly is content coherence? This category measures how smoothly and effectively the ideas flow together to form a meaningful and coherent whole. So whatever ideas you have in your mind, how well are you able to express them? Are there some unnecessary hiccups, or are you stopping, taking unnecessary pauses when you are speaking in case of your speaking test? So it should be smooth and effective in terms of the ideas. And the answer should make a meaningful and coherent whole. Coherent basically stands for logical organization of your ideas. So they should make sense. Now, how do you check whether or not you are doing it in your practice sessions? So the first question you have to ask yourself is, are there enough ideas and have they been explained clearly? So you have to check the number of ideas. Number of ideas that you are sharing in your speaking test and whether or not you're explaining them. Now, explaining is very important because if you do not explain your answers, you will not be able to speak for the stipulated time. Are the ideas well organized so that the reader can easily follow what is being said? So here, they basically mean that the rater can easily follow what you're saying only if the ideas are well organized. Let's say the question is asking you something about your daily routine, and you start by saying that I eat my lunch at 2 p.m. I wake up in the morning at 6 a.m. Then I sleep at night at 10 p.m. Then I go to the gym at 10 a.m. I leave for my work at 11 a.m. I have my breakfast at 7 a.m. And then I, go for a walk in the evening around 5 p.m. Now, if you answer in such a manner, you are basically not organizing your ideas well. So, organization of ideas means that it should be in a proper sequence, it should be meaningful, and they should be in the chronological order in terms of this question. The third thing that you can ask yourself to check whether you are doing well in the first performance standard is whether you're expressing precise meaning and or exploring deeper levels of meaning. And this is possible when you explain your answer properly. So you have to explain with examples, and these examples can be personal. So these are the 3 things you have to ask yourself. And if I take you to the performance standards again, you have to check the number of ideas, the quality of ideas, organization of ideas, examples, and supporting details. The second performance standard is vocabulary. Here you have to check whether or not you're using vocabulary, idioms, phrases to make your ideas understandable. Now, What all do you have to ask yourself to ensure you're scoring well in vocabulary? Ask yourself, is the range of words sufficient to complete the task? Now, there's always a question prompt on the screen. Now, whatever the question prompt or task is asking you, are you answering that task with sufficient range of words? Which means that you have to use synonyms, you have to use wide range of vocabulary. Number 2 is you have to ask yourself, how well am I using words that help express precise ideas clearly with minimal pausing and hesitation? Now, this is something specific to your speaking test. So, minimal pausing, minimal hesitation. You don't have to do a lot of then if you do these things, it shows that you are out of vocabulary. You do not have enough words to express. Some sort of ums and ahs are allowed if they are not because of hesitation, but because you're thinking about the ideas. The next thing that you have to ask yourself, can I combine words to express precise meaning? So you have to use topic specific vocabulary that is related to the question that is at hand. If the question is about, let's say, a cuisine, some sort of food item, you have to use topic specific words like delicious or scrumptious. Or you could use words like ingredients. These are words that are used only when you're talking about dishes or food. Now, these are the 4 things you have to keep in mind. We have already discussed it. I'm repeating. Word choice of words. It should be topic specific or related to whatever question is being asked to you. I just gave you the example of using delicious instead of this food tastes good. Instead of saying this food tastes good, good is a very general word. We would say this food tastes delicious. Then suitable use of words and phrases, again pretty much the same thing, but in terms of words and phrases. Then range of words and phrases. Here you have to use synonyms, because the focus is on range. And when we are talking about range, we are not talking about complexity of the words. You don't have to become Dr. Shashi Tharoor. You do not have to become William Shakespeare. You just have to use wide range of vocabulary by using different synonyms. And I'll quickly give you a task. You have to tell me the synonyms of the word important in the comment section, as many synonyms as you can think of, because I've noticed that important is one of the most widely repeated words. So think about the synonyms so that you can start using those in case of your writing and speaking instead of repeating important. Precision and accuracy. You need to know where you have to use a certain word. If you're not sure about the meaning of a word, if you're not sure about the context in which the word should be used, please do not use it. Use a simpler word, because that will impact your precision and accuracy. Moving on to the third performance standard, it's called listenability, and this measures how intelligible and fluent your speaking is. Intelligible means how easy it is for the listener to understand what you're saying. Are your words clear? Are your words muffled and it's confusing? You're talking to yourself and your voice is not clear, or your words are not coming out clear. So that is what listenability is all about. So when you get your speakings evaluated by a certified CELPIP instructor, they would check whether or not your rhythm, pronunciation, intonation interfere with listenability, which means when they are checking your answers, when they're hearing your answers for the speaking test, they will see if there is any issue with the rhythm, the pronunciation, or the intonation. And if there is any issue with it, that is not a problem. That is fine if there is some slight issue. The issue becomes bigger and creates an impact on your score only when it starts impacting the listenability, which means if I'm mispronouncing a word and the examiner, the rater, the evaluator, or in case of the mock tests, your CELPIP instructor or trainer is not able to understand the word Okay, it's mispronounced to the extent that they're failing to understand what you're trying to say. That will impact your speaking scores in the listenability standard. The second thing that your examiner or the evaluator will check is how fluent is the response. They will listen for any hesitations. Are you hesitant? Are you stopping unnecessarily? Are you pausing? Are there any interjections or filler words that you're using? Is there a lot of self correction? Now, self correction is allowed once or twice if it's really needed, but if you keep correcting yourself, it shows that you're not confident with the language. So, even if you were not able to say the right thing in the first go, and if you feel it's not going to impact the rest of your answer, keep going. Don't go on correcting yourself. Leave it on the examiner to correct you or judge you. Don't judge yourself. This is very important. I'll actually write it, it's that important. Don't judge yourself. If you start judging yourself, you will keep correcting yourself time and again. So don't judge yourself. Then the test taker's control on grammar, syntax would be checked, and they'll see whether or not it interferes with the listenability. If your grammar is again messed up and it is impacting the understanding of the listener, they're not able to understand what you're saying. Next up, they'll check whether or not there's complexity and variety in the sentence structure, which means you have to showcase different types of sentence structures while you're speaking. For example, using simple, compound, complex sentences so that the examiner knows that you have a good command over the English language. So what all do you have to check under the listenability factor is your rhythm, pronunciation, intonation, pauses, interjections, self-correction, grammar, sentence structure, variety of sentence structure. Now, all of this is explained in a course that we offer. This is a self-paced course. It's called the Effective Communication and Grammar course. And grammar course. So this is a self-paced course in which we have covered all the different types of topics that would be needed to score well in any English proficiency test. It will also help you in case if you need to speak on a daily basis and you want to improve your daily communication skills. The fourth one is task fulfillment. As the name suggests, it checks whether or not you're fulfilling the task at hand, which means the examiner will check whether you're answering the question at hand or not. So this category considers how well the content of the response addresses the task requirements. Have you understood the instructions and have you answered the question that was asked to you? You have to check, or the evaluator checks, how well does the response address the task. So if the question is asking you to do something and you end up deviating from the topic, they're asking you about A and you start off with A and then drift to B, C, D, then of course you are not responding or addressing to the task. How complete is the response? This is really important. It checks for completeness, which means are you addressing all parts of the task or not? So certain tasks would have like 3 sub-questions or they might have 4 sub-questions, and you have to answer each one of them to get the maximum in task fulfillment. If you just answer one part and miss out on the rest, you will never get a full score in your task fulfillment. Is the register of the response appropriate for the social context of the task? So there could be multiple social contexts. It could be a school situation, it could be talking to a friend, it could be talking to a boss, it could be talking to your daughter, to your wife. And in each of the contexts, the register changes. The register basically refers to the tone, and your tone should be in accordance with the social context of the question. It could be informal, formal, and it should change depending upon the situation. Last is the response long enough. Now you have to keep speaking till the time the timer runs out or the bar turns blue. Why? Now that's a very good question. Why do I have to speak that much? Because if you don't speak that much, the examiners, the raters would not have enough content to score you. And that is exactly the same thing that will happen with your CELPIP trainers. They will not be able to give you the feedback if they do not get the content out of you. Of course, they'll motivate you, push you, and tell you that this is how you have to articulate yourself. And for that, you can join our classes wherein we are not just trainers, we are also motivators. We ensure that you're uplifted and you're motivated enough to practice on a regular basis. And then with the feedback that we give you, you keep improving with each passing day. The 4 category ratings from 1 rater are combined into 1 score for that task. 3 raters are involved in rating each task. As I mentioned in the beginning, if you've watched the previous videos, you would know that there are at least 3 raters. And here they check for the relevance. Relevance means whether or not you're deviating from the topic. If you stick to the topic, it means your ideas are relevant. Completeness. It checks whether or not you have addressed all the tasks, all the questions that were asked to you. Your tone and the word count. Word count basically means you have to speak till the timer goes out. So these are the 4 factors on which your CELPIP raters, examiners evaluate your speaking test. If you have any questions, any confusion with respect to any of the things that we have discussed today, you can drop it down in the comment section and I'll make sure I address those in the comment section itself, or I could also make a new video for you. And for now, make sure that whenever you speak, whether it's in your mock test or it's in the real test, you involve all the things that you see on your screen right now. You make sure you have good number of ideas, the quality is good, you keep a track of your vocabulary, your grammar, and complete your answers with the full word range. That's it for today. I hope you liked this video. Don't forget your task. You have to tell me the synonyms of the word important in the comment section below. Adios, bye-bye, take care.